What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jade's Corner once again for the first video in a brand new series that I'm bringing to the channel. Now, you guys have asked me to cover this franchise for a while now. I've been putting it off because I was like, I'm not really sure if I want to cover it yet. There's another YouTuber by the name of Kogan Lawlins who already covers Underworld, and he does a pretty good job in my opinion. You guys should definitely go subscribe to him. Pretty awesome YouTuber. And he doesn't just cover Underworld, he covers all things werewolves and vampires, so he's another pretty good YouTuber on the platform if you guys want to learn more about werewolves and vampires from different movies and stuff. I'll plug the link to his channel in the description below. I decided I can differentiate my Underworld videos different enough from his where it's not like, oh, we're just watching like a Kogan Lawlins 2.0. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the werewolves, or at least the second breed of werewolves, which is the more well-known and more iconic version of werewolf in this universe, the Lycans from Underworld. If you guys are ready for the Underworld videos, make sure you leave a like. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Set your notifications to all because we're going to be grinding out these Underworld explain videos for the next month and a half. It's going to be great. You're going to have a lot of content for Underworld to digest and educate yourselves on, especially if you're new to Underworld and you've never seen any of the movies before, which I highly recommend. Underworld is one of the most badass franchises ever. All right, let's go. Let's get started with this Underworld, baby, because I am hyped to talk about Lycans today. So let's get it. Lycans are a second breed of werewolves created in the 13th century, descended from William Corvinus's werewolf bloodline. William Corvinus is the first werewolf in the Underworld series that we know of. He will be explained in his own separate video alongside Marcus Corvinus, who is his twin brother and is the first vampire in Underworld. Yeah, those two characters are very important and they're very special. They will get their own separate videos where I'll explain the two characters separately because they deserve their own videos, obviously. Once normal humans who were infected by the firstborn Lycan or another of his victims, they are unlike the first breed in that they retain their human personalities while transformed, as well as being able to take human form, which is something the original werewolves cannot do in Underworld. The first breed of werewolves, which is William's breed of werewolf, once they're turned, they're stuck in werewolf form forever. They can't turn. Lycans, on the other hand, which started with Lucian. Lucian will get his own separate video, of course, because he's another fan favorite character, of course, the franchise, and of mine personally. I love Lucian to death, as well as Victor. Victor will get his own video as well. Yeah, so the Lycans are spawned from Lucian, whereas the werewolves are spawned from William. I'll explain the difference in a separate video. Lycans are constantly at war with the vampires due to their former status as oppressed slaves. So basically they were like black people, but werewolves instead of like actual black people as slaves, pretty much for the vampires. And the vampires were like the Southerners, like the slave owners from back in like the 1800s and 1700s. So yeah, a lot of racism in the Underworld franchise, which is pretty interesting to see. And it's pretty sad too, because you really feel bad for the Lycans in these movies. And the vampires began a campaign to exterminate the entire species after the Lycan stage an uprising that nearly destroys the entire vampire species in the 15th century. That is during the events of Underworld Rise of the Lycans, epic film if you guys have not seen that movie. Although the war was believed to be a righteous cause of the noble vampires against the savage Lycans, in truth, the war was instigated by Victor out of hatred for Lucian for impregnating his daughter Sonia. Lycans are depicted as highly allergic to silver. Lycans' eyes are also shown to change to a cloudy deep blue when they are partially transformed. In the novelizations of Underworld, their eyes are described as changing into a solid cobalt blue, and the same as the original werewolves. Lycans become stronger and far more powerful with age, both physically and socially. Other factors can also affect their strength, such as feeding. A well-fed Lycan will recover faster than a Lycan who is not fed for some time. Lycans who regularly overindulge will usually take mere moments to recover depending on the severity of the wounds. Lycans display inhuman physical strengths, speed, reflexes, endurance, and agility compared to their vampire counterparts. These traits seem to apply to Lycans even when in human form, as Lucian was seen to be able to catch up to a moving car and subsequently survive being hit by it head on. Even in their human forms, Lucian and other Lycans can also demonstrate other feats of superhuman strength, speed, and agility, such as catching crossbow bolts in midair, jumping extremely high, and overpowering both humans and vampires in physical combat. In their Lycan state, their fully transformed states, Lycans far surpass any of the vampires, unless you're Selene, the badass main character, of course, Michael, or one of the other hybrids, or Victor. It is very likely that they can enter a state of hibernation and survive without blood or oxygen for centuries, much like the vampires can in this universe. They possess enhanced senses of smell, hearing, and sight that are superior to even those of normal wolves, not just humans. They are also able to sense vampires in close proximity to themselves. It should be noted that when in their werewolf forms, they are stronger than when they are in human form, which I just mentioned before, being able to break through solid concrete walls, and they seem to be stronger than most young vampires, which we also see a crap ton in the series as well, as every hand-to-hand confrontation between the two races under any normal circumstances has ended usually with the Lycan winning most of the time. Pretty funny in my honest opinion, because some of the deaths in these films that these vampires be going through would be hilarious. They would be having me laughing my ass off, I'm not gonna lie. Lycans can also use their claws and strength to scale sheer surfaces and have been seen crawling alongside walls at great speed in pursuit of prey. They possess the ability to land on their feet without harm when falling from great heights. This is seen with Michael Corvin in the first film after Selene tells him to jump out of a window from a large building. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Lycans also display the ability to share memories through their bite, possibly through the virus affecting their brain and nerves, and making their other tissues and fluids obtain bioorganic signals and information. Their most unique ability is their ability to turn at will, which is something, like I mentioned, the original werewolves cannot do. Though they usually turn at night, the full moon can only affect and forcibly transform a Lycan that has not yet learned to control their transformation. Though they could use the moon's influence to change when weakened, their transformations are quick and painless, and they are in control. But when a Lycan has not learned such control, the transformation is slow and painful, taking several minutes to finish instead of a few seconds like other Lycans. Lycans also possess superb physical resilience and remarkable regenerative abilities. Their recovery abilities are hampered by the presence of silver in their bodies. However, to older Lycans, the silver is rarely fatal. Lucian displays the ability to force Selene's silver bullets out of his body, in the first Underworld film, through muscle strength alone, although it is mentioned in the first film that silver is fatal if it penetrates the internal organs. This is mentioned by Singe is his name, but he's like the Lycan doctor from the first Underworld movies. Silver is the Lycan's only weakness, as it seems to be violently allergic to them. Originally, Lycans could only transform at the full moon, but it is explained that the older a Lycan becomes in age, the more control they can exert over their transformation, to the point that they can change at will, possessing full mental control over their wolf forms, which is pretty crazy. In their wolf forms, Lycans also have access to powerful jaws and razor-sharp fangs and claws, making them deadly close-quarter combatants, and they can also run with great speed and efficiently on 4 legs as well as 2 legs in their werewolf forms. So that's pretty much Lycans in a nutshell. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys leave a like. As always, the next video will be vampires explained from Underworld. So if you guys are interested in more Underworld content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. When you do, hit that bell icon, set your notifications to all so that you never miss a future upload from me. And with that all said, I'm Jade. I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. And I will catch you guys in the next Underworld related video. Peace.